Good evening and welcome to another exciting episode of the Men's Lounge. So the week has been very, very, very tough. We've been hearing about this Omicron and something, whatever. There was the Delta and there was the COVID itself. Now Omicron. I mean, what is it? But anyway, it's just to remind you that you need to take these things very serious. Don't forget to keep to the protocols that we've been observing for the past 1 year. You and I know that it's the reason why you are still alive, and so let's keep to it. It's very, very important. So once again, let me just welcome you to our evening. I'm bringing you something very, very interesting today. But before I get there, let me just urge you to join us on all our social media platforms at eTVGhana. You can be part of it. And so at eTVGhana, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and even Twitter, you can find us there. Join us and let's have the discussion. So today I'm bringing you something very different. It's very, very, very different. It's something you've heard about, but of course you don't know what product it's come out with. And so I'm discussing the African love. All right. Now, out of the African love, I'm going to be discussing my African love. I'm sure you don't understand, but as we go on, you get to understand me. So today I'm in the studio with two very important people. One of them is a producer, and the other is a co-producer. Two very good friends who are doing something very magical. I'm bringing it to your fore today. So with me in the studio, I have Kobe Maxwell. He happens to be the producer for My African Love with Efia Odo. That name Efia Odo, I'm sure you're already wondering what it's about. We are not talking about prison, please. We are talking about something different this time around. And so I'll be telling you more when I start the discussions with them. So, Kobe.
Yes, sir.
Akwaba.
Yeah.
It's been long, eh?
One time.
You're good. And so he's not here alone, like I said. He's here with his co-producer, or he is a co-producer as well. And he goes by the name Anibok. Okay? It's a name that a lot of you know, Anibok. But his real name is Kobina DeGraft Johnson. Cobb.
Yes, sir.
From that far, Corona brought us this boza thing. Either than that, we would have been doing, but now we have to be doing it. We need to go back to, you know that. Probably after this Omicron or whatever.
That's
I'm
the
sure.
last
What is it? Hey, mad cow disease, we boil the meat, we chew 'em. Bird flu, we boil the meat, we chew 'em.
So that's
Omicron.
Okay.
But all the same, I mean, that's just by the way. Let's keep to the protocols. It's very, very important. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so you know how we always say love is a universal language and yada, yada, yada. We believe that if two people fall in love, it should be a common thing. It shouldn't be one-sided, we say.
Correct.
Unfortunately, most of the love we've seen, look, if we are going to be very honest with ourselves, I truly haven't seen any love anywhere that both partners are at 100% to each other. Unless they mean Amiza Kushi. But I haven't seen it yet. However, we say it's a universal language and we expect that both partners should speak the same language. Before I even get to the details of that, let's get to know both of you more. Maybe I should start with you, Maxwell.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself.
See, it's been very interesting that whenever I come with a product and I come in the system, like this opportunity to be on the platform, being with you, I have to reintroduce myself again.
It's okay. It's you know why? It's because we always have new eyeballs who want to know who is sitting here.
That's true. But anyway, my name is Kobe Maxwell. I'm a musician first, and became a film producer and a creative director.
Okay.
So I'm in the US, Ghanaian born, fancy, Charlie, salt porn, all day. Fancy, yes. So, but I live in the US for over 25 years, and I was there in the music industry, playing guitar, bass guitar, playing with Kodwenchi, Daddy Lumba, Amachi the Days, and name it and all of it. But then I started doing my own songs and, becoming an artist.
Okay.
So recorded and, doing I'm Aware back in the days when, I'm Aware came on. And then went on with the music. I have about 5 albums. And then my interest started because my creativity power was very, beyond. So I got into filmmaking, doing a soundtrack for movies, Nollywood movies and Hollywood.
Okay.
And to the point that I decided to start creating my own content, films, shows, series, and all of that to where we are right now. So, Charlie, make sure.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sure by now a lot of you are saying, that's the guy. Of course, that's him today here with you. You get to see him and you get to ask questions at some point. When he gets there, I'll let you know when to send in your questions so I can ask him for you.
Yeah.
Anibok,
Yes, sir.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Myself, just like he said, you know, Fancy 2, originally from Tema.
Chede win now you fanciful.
I don't know what's going on, but I think the unity in Fancy is coming, you know. You know, what's the Fancy
Nice
point
one.
when you're united, but I think...
Oh, you know quite.
Aha.
Mama quite decided. Mama so to fancy kaka.
Yeah,
Smooth level.
So originally from Tema, moved to New York for school, you know,
Yeah.
studied accounting, and then later on just gradually there was a natural feel for you know, photography, and then that kind of like evolved into filmmaking, and then from there I've been able to work with BET, Vogue, Brussels Airlines, KM Productions, you know, as we are here, and you know, the rest of the story, you know, you can find on my, you know, Facebook or Instagram page at Anybox Studios. Yeah.
Nice one, guys. Welcome once again.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Well, you heard it all, so we are going to go straight to the discussion. You know, I started talking about how we say love is a universal language and yada, yada, yada. One thing that I find interesting, so let's just assume you live in the States, okay? You're African American, and then there's this Asian girl who is so lovely, and you guys already, you know, start talking. Now, that barrier, language, who you both are separately or differently, culture especially, how does it affect love when both of you begin to have that feeling towards the other? How does it affect it?
You want to say?
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't affect it, but the reality is it will affect it, and I feel like because of the cultural differences, depending on, let's say they're talking and they're moving, you know, into a serious place, right? At some point, they would have to have a conversation about, you know, really how parents would accept that, you know, that relationship. Because at the end of the day, you kind of need your parents' approval when you want to take things to
you
that
don't
level.
kind of. In our kind of African setting, you actually need it. If you think you are not an island, you need it.
You see, you make like the New York, no, make my, that's why.
No.
Look,
you know,
I get it. I get it though.
Yeah.
See, I'm coming in straight up and actually disagree with why is it that at this point you need or you must or you have to have your parent blessing to decide who you want to love or who you will fall in love with.
You don't think it's necessary?
I think when Jesus was giving us his love, coming to die for us, I don't think he seek approval
from his father.
Well, he asked, his father sent him, so it wasn't approval. He was sent. Go.
Oh, you want to talk about his stepfather?
I guess, but I think the point I'm trying to make is love. You know, when we say culture, we say is you know, language and everything. That's you know, it could become a barrier between two people. However, I believe that if I love something, you know, you sacrifice, you love something unconditional. That's why we have unconditional love.
Yeah.
So the language barrier shouldn't stop you of expressing unconditional love to somebody you love if you really claim that you love the person. And I think even on the show, you know, because it's a culture and we kind of grew up or developed that mentality, there's person on the show that if you really, really love this guy, however, the guy is trying to think of, so how do you see our future? And he's thinking of, I have to get my mother's approval if I could date you. And that turns her off. And this is somebody she really, really, really wanted to go with, but it turns her off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if we really talk about unconditional love, we should have a love with no condition. Okay, so if you have but your mother don't approve it, so which means you really doesn't love me, it's your mother or your father has to approve you to love me. That's my opinion.
Interesting. And so, riding on the back of that, you know, there's always been this, well, I don't want to say it's a misconception, but there's this idea, you're an African man like I am. You are also an African man, I assume. You can say, no, you're a black man.
All the way.
Yes,
So, we hear people say, generally, that African men are not romantic. Do you subscribe to that?
personally, myself,
You are
very
romantic.
romantic. You know what I mean?
Of course.
I think
You wouldn't say no.
I think fancy people are the most romantic people out there.
Oh.
You know? Yeah. Let me put that out there. Let me put that out there. But I think romance is something that you learn. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes, based on the home that we come from, what you see your parents do is what you will look at as romantic. A lot of people grew up without ever seeing their parents hug.
Yeah.
Never seen their parents say welcome home, kiss on the cheek. So now, where do you get your idea of romance from? From TV. That's the only place you're gonna get it from. So you might pick a few things here and there, but the actual, how to do it, you didn't see that. So if you're able to learn on your own, you might have a few things that you might not get right, but there's so many ways to be romantic. It doesn't have to be going to the expensive, restaurant. It could just be a little. Apparently, girls over here don't like flowers. I don't know. So, you know what I mean? So, but somewhere it's romantic. So, I think you just got to find what the other person likes and then really feed into that.
Maxwell, do you agree? Or do you also feed into that conception or misconception that African men are not romantic? Well, he thinks he is.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about you? Are you romantic?
When you say romantic, I take it differently. Like, when African women talking about romantic, they think of bringing you flowers, roses and, chocolate and stuff like that. It makes you a romantic, or say, oh, I love you, honey. And so, but where I live, some people can do all of that, but they don't mean it.
Okay.
People can say, I love you, but it's with no meaning. But I believe that with us, as African men, when we say certain things, it's deeply what we're saying. It's not otherwise. So I think it has a two different way. When you looking at, bringing your roses and candies and chocolates and send you, oh, honey, I missed you, this, that makes me a romantic. I can do all of that to you. Maybe I'm faking, or it's not really genuine romance that I'm trying to express to you. So I see it's an individual, I can express my romance by the time you come home, I've cooked for you. By the time you come home, I've cleaned the house, so babe, you work so hard, come and relax, have a dinner, and then after dinner and dinner, you know what I mean? Right. So it's a different way to express how much romantic you are to who you love. So
basically you also would say that you are, but you show yours differently.
Differently, basically, yeah. But the reason why I kind of illustrated this way, that a lot of our African women think, when they watch the foreign culture, and they think when they see the roses and stuff,
they think that's what
that
really
is what exactly. Yeah. It's just a different.
But the fact that we are also helping to clean and all.
Yeah, we do other things. We do so many other things that is really not men's.
And they don't even make us sleep at night after as well.
On top of it,
tired. Anyway, so let's look at this. You see, I keep asking these questions as a build prelude to the movie and the series we'll be talking about later. Right. So let me just find out this from both of you. What are some of the petty mistakes that African men are making in their relationships?
Nice question.
Yeah, really good question.
Can I take it?
Anyone.
Go ahead.
So, I think that we grew up with a culture where we see our dad goes to work and come home with his newspaper, sitting in the living room, watching TV or reading newspaper, news or whatsoever. And mom has cooked in the kitchen, goes to the farm, like done all the housework and feed the kids and everything.
And everybody at home.
And yet dad will be sitting there and doing nothing to help or do anything, right? And we take those things like it's a culture, it's a women's duty, right? But meanwhile, that was then, and I don't disagree back in the days when that culture, we practiced that, because women were not working, so they feel like their job is taking care of home. However, this DNA, we believe that women are working, mostly equally as we working as well. So I feel that if we can only understand that, okay, now my wife have a 9 to 5 or different job title, and goes and comes. So some of the duties that it consider women's duty, it can also be done by men. I love you. I'm with you. So if you are not home, There's nothing wrong with me doing certain things that when you come home you have to do if I'm not working. And if we can only kind of understand that, you know, the world has evolved and things have changed. So that's things we grew up with or we saw our parents does is different at this DNA, you know, due to the time we are in. I think it will make our relationship a little bit more stable and not feel that I've been used or I'm doing a lot or I'm not appreciated of what I do at home, and it will stabilize our relationship. That's my thought.
Well, I mean, those are the petty things we should be looking at. I'll come to you, Aniwak, but I'm going to have to go on this break. Okay. When I'm back, we'll talk about yours and then we'll go straight into discussing the series. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Just joining us, I'm still here with Maxwell and Anibok. We are discussing love. You know how men, African men, we love love, okay, or we like love, but then they say that we don't really know how to, you know, execute it. If there's any better word than execution, to execute love, I don't even know what I mean myself, but it's okay. So yeah, we love love, we like love, but sometimes it seems as though African men there we are seen not to be able to, you know, put it out really well. But of course, I will keep learning. So, guys, I'm back. Now, I'll be going into the series soon. However, let me find out this from both of you. Is it okay to date multiple partners simultaneously? This one goes to Anibok.
Oh, I mean, that question is really...
is it okay?
It's okay, straight up.
It's okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Multiple partners?
Yes, all the way.
Tell me about it.
And everybody should do it. Boy, girl, they should all do it because...
Yeah. No, but not when they're married, right?
No, not when they're married.
Okay.
I don't think that's what you said.
No.
Dating.
So dating, yes.
Nobody should know when you're married. But multiple, I feel like there's a misconception about dating. Because when you are dating, you are trying out. Okay. So if you want to be open about it and say, hey, you know, I'm dating other people, that's okay. If you're not being open about it, that's somewhat okay too, depending on what you are doing with the person, you know. But until the words come out, we are exclusive, then, you know, the other side is not okay. But as far as dating other people, you shouldn't feel guilty. You should do it a whole lot so that you feel free and it allows you to explore so you can find the person that matches you, because sometimes 1 month you might connect with this person and after that month there is no more connection because that was what it was going to be. And then you just keep finding the other person. But I think it's nice in a or you're fit to be like, oh, I'm seeing other people. And seeing other people doesn't mean like
25 others.
Yeah, maybe, you know what I mean?
Maybe
because
one or two,
you need one or two. You need that. You need one or two.
You need
one or two or maybe three.
So you know how Anibok sounds. So he sounds like this old man I spoke to sometime. He said, Nana, you know something? You know, men when it comes to finding love, you're like shoes. The shoes that we wear. See, when you're lacing the shoe, you lace it through several holes and then finally you tie them.
That's a good one. That's OG talk. That's OG talk.
That's OG talk.
Yeah, that's OG talk.
So that's what
I'm using.
I like that.
You to run the lace through several holes and then finally you tie them.
And make sure it's
even. And it was like,
too,
you understand me? I just said yes, I do. I couldn't have said anything else.
See, that's experience talking.
Well, so let's come to the series itself.
Right.
My African Love. How did you come by this whole entire story title? How did you come by it?
So it's a real mirrors to someone's life. You know, a Ghanaian born in America, a friend of mine over like 35 years old, she's trying to get married. Her parents are on her neck to get married.
Oh, she's trying to get married.
She's trying to get married.
You didn't tell her I was here.
You see, now I know that you're single.
I'm here.
Anyway, but she has been dating Ghanaian, she have dated Americans, she have dated Nigerians, and she come back to square one. So she's friend is like, Kobe, listen, my parents are on my neck to get married. How do I fit in? Because I've dated Ghanaians. At some point, we're not comparable. I've dated Nigerian, I've dated Americans, like I've dated a white boy, like all of it. So tell me, what is it? I'm like, how do you communicate with all these people that you have tried, especially the Africans? And her expression is like, you know, I want to cut to the chase, but literally the way we talk, the way we express things, the way we show love, is completely different to her, where she grew up. And she think it's wrong. I'm like, no, it's not wrong. It's the way we do our things. So do you think if you're able to find a communication with this person, maybe it would have worked out instead of you just jumping to the conclusion that you are not compatible. So jumping to my African love, I figured out that there is something missing of culture differences, communication, and different things that if we can only accept and compromise, it will work out. We can able to find that, niche that will bring us together.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of mirrored to this story that the one looking for love, but she have experienced so many different culture, different style of communication, how to dress. Like you can't tell your girlfriend in America that what you're wearing is too short or it's too this, like, like I'm wearing it, what's up? That's your business, it's not your business. And truly you can go out with him and she's not doing anything wrong, very loyal, to you. So I figure out that what we can use this show to demonstrate or somehow, project to people to find a different way to communicate, to understand, is showing that, listen, maybe I can do certain things, but it doesn't define that, I'm different. If you can understand where I'm coming from and why I do certain things, you can cope and work with me in a compromise.
Okay.
It's why this show was created.
I see. So is Theodore the person looking for the love?
Yeah.
Oh, but it could have been easy.
Really?
Once I'm here, I mean, again, are you serious? It could have been very easy.
Why couldn't you come and compete? But see, this is the thing. She's looking for love, but she wants a guy who can compromise with, because a lot of Ghanaians, men will see a Theodore like, oh, she wears short pants.
It's okay. I've compromised already.
This guy.
I've compromised already.
One time.
But how did you come by choosing her as the main, cast or the character for it?
I mean, I'm not going to call it this, but
her?
I was auditioning. We're looking for who real life fits to this.
Okay.
And we figured out a lot of people. And one thing that she was I didn't know much of her.
Okay.
But, friends, celebrities that knows her, though, that have worked with me, whenever they hear the pitch of this reality show, everybody calls her name.
Oh, wow.
And that's how I was like, okay, now let me dig in to find out who
she is. Okay.
And the more I'm getting through that she grew up in America, she is westernized, like, and she have moved here, and she's having all these issues. Like every time they are talking about her way of appearance and things, but it's her. And I can tell that, okay, if only people can give her a chance. She's sweet and lovely person, like a big heart. However, you judge her from distance, you would think she's XY, you call her hoe, you will call her all kind of names. But when you are closer, so I feel like if you can give only room to experience people,
to understand them.
Right, understand where they're coming from, you may find a real person that I can't even tell you who this girl is. And it was fit so well that I said, and then when I approached her and pitched what this show is about, she's like, this is me. I'm looking for a real guy who can let me be
Oh,
me.
she said that?
Yes.
Voila. See, it's working. It's working.
But definitely she was really, that's why this show is becoming so personal.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, you will feel that it's not script, it goes as it flows.
It goes as it feels,
and the way sometimes you're becoming emotional, sometimes she's becoming like, I'm attaching to this person, but then she finds something else that, okay, red flag, or I'm scared. I don't know where this is going to go. So you see the vulnerability of her and times and emotional, and she was perfect fit for this show. I've never cast a talent that I feel that she fits so perfect than this Ifeodo.
What about the male cast? I mean, is everybody in all your cast? Is everybody African?
Yes, there's South Africa. His parent from South Africa.
Okay.
That he's born in, so he's white. He's white South African.
Okay.
So he's white. There's a black American that he felt that, listen, I'm looking for my African queen. I want to go to the motherland. So when he saw that we are casting, he came to the show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he wanted to marry an African.
Okay.
So he came to the show.
Have you found one for him yet?
Oh, okay. That will be on the next script.
Yeah.
I probably will give my sister or something. You don't know. The question is, do I even have a sister? That's another question. I see.
Yeah.
So
but we have guys from all over the continent.
Okay.
From Liberia, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, Nigeria, of course. Ghana, motherland. Yep. You know, South Africa. We have even a surprise guest from Congo.
Okay.
So the show is really
cuts across, eh?
Yeah, cut across.
One Africa.
There you go.
I like that.
That's the
so
goal.
so where was it shot?
We shot in multiple locations. The almost 80% in the, when I say DMV, is DC, Maryland, Virginia, which is the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., and Virginia State and Maryland. We shot, the main place was in Virginia. We shot in Maryland, we shot in D.C. And then we shot some scenes in New York. He did a lot of his scenes that he shot in New York.
Nice one.
In New Jersey, you know, if he has family in New Jersey, her whole family is in the show.
Oh, wow.
Her mother, her siblings, her uncle, you know, family discussing that we need to marry a Ghanaian. Her uncle is from Ghana, and she's like, Ghana is in Africa. Of course, Ghana is part of Africa.
Interesting.
You know? So it's really discussed, you know, discussion in a show where family involved, still making decision for her, even though she want to explore to figure out which men that fit my lifestyle to be with. You know, so yeah.
I see. So how many episodes are on the series?
10 episodes.
10 episodes.
10 episodes.
That's interesting. I mean, I'm sure all of us will be waiting and will so much love to see it. How challenging is it, you know, to have shot something with Efia Odo? I mean, already you have told me that she's such a sweet person, and all the other things I don't know. How challenging is it working with her and then this team of people that you have mentioned? See, I have 5 films that I've made, feature and shorts, right? And every project you go through a different challenges, right? And I've adapted to live with it, right? But then when you comes to a reality show where it was my first time, it's an experience where I've never thought or knew that this is the process of, you know, making a reality show. You have over 15 to 20 crew members, you have 15 casts, and then the diva, you know, the Theodores of the world. We have Miss United States, whose father is Ghanaian, mother is American. Wow. On the show, which if he has advisors that, you know, make decisions with her. So you are managing all these people, you have guys from all over, different culture, different backgrounds. So what am I saying? The challenges was there, but my determination is to get something done 100%. Nothing else for the fans, to experience something different, because if Big Brother, USA, you know, Bachelorettes and all of that, you know, can be done, why we can do the same thing, but tell our own story, our own way, our own way, you know, in our own way. And that was the challenge, that I wanted to make it 100% good, because you already have a Netflix specification to shoot this to, so that you can have the opportunity for it, or Amazon. And you doing this, and you have to make sure it's 100% done well. And ask him, we finish shooting, you know, we have about 30 days to shoot this. And we shoot sometimes 14, 15 hours. And then Ifya will be tired, but the more you push her, the more she's giving you, and the more she's giving me, the more I want. Then we keep on pulling it up, you know. But after 1 year, I came to Ghana, I was not satisfied. We shoot some scenes here, we went back, she came back to shoot other things to make it perfect, and give it well to the audience, to experience something different, because, you know, maybe a first of our own that is done in our own way, on our own story, that can relate to us. That's how this show is. So, Charlie, a lot has gone into it. I know. I know. So you get to hear, when you speak to people like Maxwell, you get to hear the other side of the people you would have thought otherwise had a different kind of lifestyle. For me, I think we often shouldn't judge a book by the cover. We all know this, but it's always wise to wait and see the content that the person has. I tell you what, let's watch this thriller. It's just about My African Love. Watch this.
Welcome to My African Love. My name is Chris Atto. Here on the show, we're responsible for helping celebrities all over the world find love. Our influencer, celebrity, actress, and model, Efia Odo, is looking for love right here in the USA.
How about I get different guys from Africa and experiments? Sorry. Calvin Drake's production. Find my African love. Say I get the fiction to find my African love.
All right, so I'm sure you saw that beautiful damsel, Ifeodo. And yeah, it's okay to say she is, isn't she? She is. I mean, you should agree with me. Just that I'm telling the producers, next time when they have such a story and she's the one, they shouldn't even shoot a series. Just look for me and tell me, Charlie, the girl say one love, oh, are you available? May I just talk say yeah a day? Anyway, thanks guys. I'm grateful for you guys passing through. I know there's a lot we could have done with this. I'm hoping that we can do more another time. Thank you so much, Maxwell. Thank you so much, Anibak, for coming through. And thank you also for sitting through the night. I'm waiting to speak and hear from us. Thank you so much. Stay safe. It's very important.
You want to put the premiere date and the location?
Oh, yeah, I know it's on the 19th, right?
The 19th to 25th.
Where is it happening, though?
AMA.
Oh, the Snap Cinema.
Yes.
Very, 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 very I mean, when it comes to proximity, you can easily find it's very, very important.
Yep, and you can get a ticket right here in-house and some other locations. Hey,
okay.
I got to push it.
All right. It's important you grab the tickets as well. I mean, there's the location. You can come to eTV, Happy FM. You can get the tickets as well. And so let's see you there on the 19th at the AMA Snap Cinemas. It's very important. Come see the other side of Ifeodo. We'll leave you here. We'll be back next week with another exciting episode of The Men's Lounge. Please stay safe.